Hello, everyone. I am Zaneta, and I am back going to my lives. And it's been a while. It has been a while. A lot of things that happened. COVID has happened. I have moved. So back to normal, back to certain things, and back to be live. I am so excited. Oh, yeah. And of course, changes to the hair. Yes, the last time you saw me on Be Live, I had like darker hair. So, but I am embracing what everybody calls the, uh, how do we call it? The quarantine look. So I am embracing that. I got tired of paying for color. And besides, back in COVID, we couldn't do it. So I just said, let me just embrace it. So here it is. I have all the grays and I am um, loving it. So, what are we doing today? Before it was transforming daily lives. And now, as you can see, it is redefine me. What is redefine me? We have to think things over. We have to make sure that what we're hearing or what we're seeing or what we're, uh, um, uh, being labeled as, we need to look at it and really face it and see what it really means and redefine it. So, and that's where we're coming from. We're coming on live now with Redefine Me. And I have a special guest host who is with me. She is my client and I am her client. Wow. Isn't that a concept? And I am going to welcome Stephania. Hello, Stephania.
Hi, Zaneta. How are
I am
you?
doing wonderful. You look lovely.
Oh, thank you.
So
Quickly put my hair back.
I know you look so beautiful. I like the background.
Do you? Yeah, I've got a new setting
Yeah,
for.
I really like that. It makes you pop out.
Does it? Oh, good.
Yes, yes, yes. So Stefania is tell us about you. Where are you at right now? Tell us where you're at.
Okay. Well, I'm in Melbourne, Australia, so I am a day ahead of you, whoever is watching in the States, of course. So it's 10 o'clock a.m. Saturday morning here in Australia, and I believe it's 8 p.m. Friday, Eastern Standard Time, there in the US. So I'm here in Australia and I am a men's love and relationship coach slash hypnotherapist.
Oh, hold on, hold on. So you're a what?
That's
You're a men's what?
yes, a men's love and relationship coach. And I know it kind of like, pricks up the ears a little bit because there's not a lot of us around, but I specifically work with men. Yes. And why do I
Wow.
work with men? The golden question, right?
Yeah. Why do you work with men?
Okay. Well, I said if I, for every, question I get, for every, question I get, why do I work? If I got a dollar, I'd be like a millionaire, I think. But anyway, why do I? Well, I love men. Okay. This is all about not, emasculating men. It's not about that at all. It's about empowering men. And I help men build rock solid relationships by understanding female energy.
Hmm.
Yes.
So would you say that those are like topic today? Those would be like men's roadblocks.
Yeah, yes,
Are they
absolutely.
mental? Is it a mental thing? Mental roadblock?
Definitely. And it's got a lot, obviously, to do with, their upbringing and what kind of trauma they've had in their lives. A lot of the times, trauma does bring on, mental blocks because we identify a lot of what's going on now with what has happened in the past. And of course, I do work with the subconscious mind when I'm, working as a hypnotherapist,
Mm-hmm.
and we get rid of those mental blocks. We kind of do a bit of a flush out.
Oh, a flush.
A
Okay.
flush out. A brainwash,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So when we're talking about mental blocks, mental roadblocks, and you talked about the psyche and you're a hypnotherapist, um, and I want to share with everyone that I had one session with her, and let me tell you, one session did it for me. It was phenomenal. So what does it do? I mean, how does the mental roadblocks um, come? Where do they come from? Is it real? Is it just a terminology? Is it just I call it a marketing phrase, to get people to get them a coach, to buy their program, to get rid of mental roadblocks? What is it real? Is I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. Is it real?
Is it real? Well, I guess it is, because a lot of people out there actually are experiencing these blocks, whether you want to call them mental blocks, whether you want to call them just, self-sabotaging thought patterns, your belief system. They're all blocks. They're all something which is preventing you from moving forward or moving on to the next stage of your life. So uh, how are they put there? Well, it can be a number of reasons. It doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
be one area. But of course, our upbringing and our childhood is very, very important. And between the ages of 0 to 8, um, that is a very crucial time. And that's when a lot of our message units, we call them message units. What are message units? What we've been told by either our parents or by our guardians or caretakers as we grew up between 0 and 8, these message units, what was right, what was wrong, have been instilled in us from an early age. So, of course, you as a child, we as children, we look up to our parents. I mean, they're keeping us alive. They're, loving us the best way they can. And we understand that as love, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We can't identify, what is, but we feel safe. We're in that, our primitive mind of feeling safe is being comforted. So, of course, uh, we just follow whatever they say. They're our biggest heroes. So whatever
Right.
comes out of their mouths is sacred. So, of course, between those ages, we are instilled with a lot of these message units. And they could be, positive, or they could be negative, because depending on, their upbringing. So they're instilled in us. And of course, as we past the age of 8, we start forming our own critical or analytical mind. And that's when we start, forming our logic, our reasoning. We start this, making decisions. We start, questioning. We have willpower.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, that's when we start, using our conscious mind. But between 0 and 8 years of age, that's when a lot of, that information has been installed into our minds. So say, for example, let me give you an example. I don't know. That as a child, if you were a good boy or a good girl, mum would give you a candy, lollies, as we call them here in Australia, right? So we would identify
Lollies.
lollies.
Just love
we
it.
Yeah, we would identify being good. If we were good, we would get a lolly. So therefore, we would identify that that is a good thing. Now, as an adult, we may still be identifying with that, but we may be having an excess of lollies, excess of candy, because we're thinking we're good all the time, so we're
Mm-hmm.
eating lots of candy. So that could be a mental block that's preventing us from possibly losing weight, for example.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you identify that, having dessert after a meal was if you ate all your meal, you'd be able to have your dessert. I don't know if you were brought up with a family that had that sort of
Yes.
identification. Right. You only ate dessert if you ate your meal. So, of course, if you're a dessert goer, you'll eat everything, then your dessert, and you don't identify with anything else. But you've done the right thing and eaten dessert, and hence why sometimes it can be difficult when you're trying to lose weight, for example. It may not be what you're doing, but it's that mental
Mm,
block that we have in the mind that's
yeah.
preventing it.
So is it actually a block, or is it something that we put in there and we ignore it?
That too. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can put something in our minds that we don't even know it's there, because
Mm,
for example, if we've had trauma in our lives, and
mhm,
this happened also with a lot of cases where people, adults as young children have been, molested or have been sexually abused. I mean, you can put it so far back into your mind, into your subconscious mind, that it's hidden. It's not even. It
mm.
doesn't show itself up. Only when there are triggers that will trigger a situation, may trigger it, and then it will resurface. And you may have a reaction. You may not know why you're having that reaction, but it's there in the subconscious mind. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So here's the thing. For those of you that are watching, and I know this is last minute, um, if you would like to join and talk about mental blocks, you can let me know, message, and we'll bring you on. Yes, you can come on live with us. And we are simultaneously going live on also on YouTube channel. So hopefully next week I will, switch it on over to LinkedIn. And that's one thing good about Be Live is that you can simultaneously stream it to YouTube or LinkedIn. So if you want to come on as a guest, please let me know. Chat, put on the chat, and I'll bring you on. I'll send you the link to come on and talk about roadblocks. Now, I think I think that sometimes there are certain things that we encounter as a child, and those are traumas. I don't necessarily think that they are mental roadblocks, but more so um, trauma that needs to be healed. Now, with me, the mental roadblocks are the things that I put, not something that of a trauma or. And this is just me. This is just me thinking. This is just how I think. I don't know. I could be wrong, and in its perception, when it deals with the mind, everybody has their own perception of their own interpretation. So, like with not speaking, it's because I didn't want to speak. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I didn't want to rock the boat, if you will. I didn't want to, be heard because I felt like I was unlearned in a way that when I'm hearing other people talk, they're using collegiate words that I have to look up. And what was that word again? So I blocked myself in speaking because of that when I'm thinking about myself. Now, is that somewhat or has validity to it? What's your thought on that?
Definitely, definitely. You have purposely or unconsciously, so possibly, identified that if I do speak, well, I'm not. I may not be heard. I'm not valid. I'm not good enough. There may be a number of valid reasons, but I know that we did a session on that, and that definitely, as you said, it cleared up a lot, right? And we didn't really go deep. But, there may be other underlying issues that may need to be kind of addressed, and you can't do it all in one session, obviously. But we don't know, was that planted just in your recent years? Was it just planted like not long ago, or was it there for a long time, but maybe you didn't identify with it as much as you did this time because we brought up a lot of, we had a lot of conversation around it
Yeah.
before we went under hypnosis. And that's what hypnosis is about. It's not like you go to a therapist and, boom, they just put you under and, hypnotize you. No, there's a lot of cognitive conversation, and that's where the coaching comes into it, or listening and getting that information. So then we can, use it in the hypnosis treatment with the client. So I guess it could be, again, a lot of it is belief. What do you believe in? If that's what you believe in, well, that's what it's going to be for you.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
that if I believe in something else, well, that's what my belief system is, and that's what's going to do it for me. So I think I think really, if anyone is kind of tangled around that, just breathe. don't don't like really get too caught up with the blocks. Look at what you desire. Look at the outcome you want out of all this. And if we can focus on that, yeah, it's a lot easier. But I know for some it's difficult. And we were talking about this with Zaneta, because Zaneta is, she's Zaneta, and she likes to
Yes.
break things down and then break things down and then break things down again.
Yes, I am very, very, very analytical. I'm a
Right,
very analytical person.
right.
Um, yeah. So I wanted to explain, or have you explain, because when somebody says hypnosis,
Mm.
they automatically think that it's those people on stage, and they touch something and clip, snap their fingers, and then all of a sudden they're out of it, and then they make them do weird things. So
Like,
that's not you, right?
no, no. I get a lot of people say, "Oh, so you're gonna make me bark like a dog?" And I'll say, "Only if you want me to." Honestly,
Yes.
I know in the States, hypnosis is really big, like stage hypnosis, particularly in Vegas. I've only seen things on TV and, YouTube, but no, the hypnosis that I do, it's therapeutic. It's nowhere near. It's not even stage. It's got nothing to do with stage. Yeah, well, you experienced it, Zanetta.
Yes.
You share with the audience. What was it like for you?
Yeah. So um at first I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
Were you skeptical? Were you
I
skeptical?
was, I was, I was very, very, very skeptical.
Mm.
Because when you kept on asking me, have you been hypnotized before? I said, yeah, somebody tried and it didn't work. But it was
Oh,
one of those stage hypnosis, My daughter was actually a victim, and she was
oh,
in the audience, and she was hypnotized while she was in the audience. So, and then some other people in the audience as well was because they were susceptible, I guess. And
yes.
I mean, no, no, you are not going to control me. You are not going to control my mind. You are not. So there was a lot of not in me when you had first said it. And then it took a while for me to really say, okay, I really love Stefania. I really trust Stefania. And I know that she won't do anything to harm me. So why not? Kind of thing. And it was actually almost the same as Silva, Jose Silva, his technique. So it's almost the same, really.
Yeah.
This is it's an ongoing, it's a new trend. It used to be back in the 70s, but it's coming back. It's coming back in the forefront. But it's the same. It's almost the same. I was like, oh, I think I can do this. And so when I finally let myself go,
I know. And you came to me and you said, I want it done. I'm ready. I went, what?
Yeah, I know,
I was
right?
so blown away. Yes,
Um,
yes.
and it was phenomenal. It really was. The results was great. I was able to, because you asked me where I wanted it, where in my life I wanted to enhance, and I wanted, my job that was safe, was
Yes.
safe. So I wanted my job to be enhanced and be able to um, get a promotion, be able to showcase myself, be able to um, uh, pretty much market myself and say, I am worthy, I am this, I am that, you know. So something happened, not good. It was a negative on my part. How I saw it was negative. And I boohooed I cried. I literally cried. I really, really, tears, snot. My husband came in here and said, "What's going on?" But then, all of a sudden, when I had this meeting, all of a sudden, this courage came about, and it was like a different me that just asserted itself and started say, no, I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this. And it shows because now I have um I have one of the highest rates of settlements in the cases. So, and they're asking me, how do I do it? What do you do? How do you do it? And so it helped. It really did, because now I'm more aware of what I'm saying and I hear what I'm saying, and I am more confident, not fearful. There's a little fear, but I use the fear to fuel that
Mm,
courage to come out.
excellent.
And that's what you have done for me. You
Mm.
have used the fear to be able to fuel the courage and to come on out. And that's why we're on live now.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
And now just share, because I didn't say this to you beforehand, but I did tell you, obviously, in our last conversation we had, that with hypnosis, for some people, it's not instant. Like it may not happen immediately. You may not feel a change. You may feel like, oh, I don't feel any different. But it may happen 3-4 days later, a week later. It's not, it depends, and it's different for everybody. So what may work for you in one way, it may work differently for someone else, right? So
Right.
how is it for you?
Well, to me, it was an instant. It really was. I mean, I felt relaxed. That was the best sleep I've ever had in 30 minutes. I mean, it felt like I was asleep. Even though I heard you. I heard every word that you were saying.
Mm,
Um, it was almost like I was in that in between when you're asleep but you're awake.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that
Like
I was
always
in
happens.
I was in that, but it was so relaxing. So it didn't well, to me, probably I didn't notice it. That's a better way to explain it. I didn't notice it until I started speaking, and the person that was receiving heard, oh, she can't speak. Oh, she's articulating everything that and
Right.
she is. So when I felt that, I immediately knew, Stefania.
Hypnosis, it's working. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. That's what happens. You just don't even know you're doing it, because what's happening is the subconscious is kicking in, because I've put those messages in there. That's the therapy. That, anything I tell you or share with you through the therapy is nothing that comes from me. It's from what you have put in, your words, definitely. And
Yeah.
oh, that's great. See, and it happened, what, 3 or 4 days later, like that
3 or
you
4
actually.
days later that I've noticed.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
might have happened, sooner, but when I really noticed it, it was like 3 or 4 days later that because I guess because of my crying spell. I
Mm.
don't
Yeah,
know.
there was a shift. There was a shift
Yeah,
happening, right?
it was a noticeable shift.
I noticed
That's
it.
what it was. It was a very noticeable shift. So we have here, um, how do
That's-
people get services from either one of you? How about you, Stefania? How can they
I
get
think
a
you have
hold
to.
of?
You've forgotten to put my name at the bottom of my screen, I think.
Oh, I am so sorry.
You
Let
can
me put
see
that
I am.
right now. But I tell you that, you know, the live.
That's okay. That's okay. I thought I'd let you finish and just let you
There
know.
we
Well,
go.
people can reach out to me, I guess, through the Gentleman Square, or you can direct DM me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, um, LinkedIn, or direct email me at info@stephaniapulio.com. So I'll give you my direct email.
Okay, so it's not giving full, it's not showing the whole thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on the right here, Stefania at the Gentleman Square, and they can just use that, right?
Right.
For all of like for LinkedIn,
Yep.
it's the same for YouTube.
Yes. Yep. So you
Okay.
can
Now,
get
do
on.
you have an Instagram?
I do. Yep. But it's
Okay.
without the. I only got the gentleman's underscore square. That's my
Okay.
Instagram. But even if you put in Stefania Pulio, it'll come up because it's under my name. So yeah. But the other thing I wanted to add to what Zaneta said, as far as the hypnosis goes, and she said, I was very, very aware of what you were saying. Like I could hear everything, right? So that is the whole idea, that you are not sleeping. Okay. You are actually in control, and so much in control that if you were to stop the session, if you just, wanted to stop for whatever reason, you can. You are totally in control of doing so. I mean, that's never happened to me. Thank God, touch wood. And it's because I'm, my intention there when I'm working with people is one of, a good intention to getting results to
Mm-hmm.
what the client desires. So it's very much a awake, asleep state that you're in. And we are naturally in hypnosis all the time, whether you're aware of it or not.
Oh,
For
do tell.
example, when we wake up in the morning, when we
Huh?
wake up, if you think about when you wake up and you may just automatically get up, and what do we normally do? We go to the bathroom, right? And you can all of a sudden find yourself in the bathroom and not even remember getting up because it's just so automatic. We are just like dreamlike state. Before we go to sleep, half an hour before, we start unwinding, we start yawning. That our body's starting to get into a sleep mode, and it will go through a hypnosis state first before we just totally zone out and sleep.
Now that I can agree with, because I always find myself um watching them. I don't know if anybody has ever done this. Um, I would be watching a movie or catching up on a show, and then it goes on commercial, and then I'll just close my eyes. I'm saying it's a commercial. Let me close my eyes. And the next thing I know, it went, rewind, rewind, rewind. So yeah, I do know. I do know I go into that, and then I find myself thinking that I am actually watching the show, but there's certain things that pop up in my state that
Mm,
doesn't belong in the show. And
right.
so I finally wake up and I'm like, oh, that was weird. Oh, I'm not watching. I'm already in that trance, going into that sleep mode. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Or another good one is, have you ever found yourself driving in your car? You might be going home, you might go to work, and all of a sudden you notice, I don't know, you've come to a certain intersection, or you've come to a place and you don't remember passing, for example, the Kmart store or the petrol station that you wanted to pull over and get petrol.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember going past all that. How did I get here without even remembering? Well, that you're in hypnosis. You can be actually driving and be in a state of hypnosis.
Wow. I know I've been like that a lot, especially when I was traveling to work to DC. So I would find myself already there. Or sometimes I'm so, in the some state hypnosis, that I miss a turn. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, how did I miss that? I do this every single day, for so long. How did I miss that turn? Okay, now I'm gonna have to do that. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to dissect that.
Break that down, Zaneta. I'll challenge you. See what happens for you. Let me know.
Yes. Yeah. So, what are other mental blocks? Um, that what are so you talk about childhood trauma. You've
Mhm.
talked about certain things that happens that you associate like with the food, and so you become so used to food that you're trying to lose weight, but your relationship with food started back in a childhood. What are some of the other um, mental roadblocks that can cause someone to not fully show up?
Mm. Okay. I've got a really good one.
Oh,
This is about pertaining to relationships, of course, because that's what I work with, and men, for example. And this is a very common one that I work with, and that is women are all this is coming from men, right? That this is a block they have. We call it a mental block or a mental trauma or something. All women are gold diggers. All women are just after your wallet. That's what I get. Yeah, it's pretty heavy stuff, I mean, and some men, unfortunately, have gone through situations or experienced relationships with women that, they've been wiped clean. But of course, this only happens because they allow it. I kind of know that you've got to take responsibility for that because, if you've got a woman that's going to be wanting to, take hold of your ATM card, your credit card or whatever, it's only natural that it's going to be used, right? But going back to the block, so then what happens is a man will then identify every woman that he then has after that relationship, most cases, not all the time, unless they've, overcome it and they realize that not all women are the same, that every woman, they will identify that women are just after money. And that's it. Money. They're gold diggers. And if you don't have the money, they're not going to go out with you. If you can't wine and dine them, they're not going to go out with you. So this is a block. This is either trauma, this is a block, this is a seed. It may even be something they've picked up from their fathers or something they've picked up from their mates, you know, their male friends growing up, that women, they're just users. They're only just there for the money. So what happens? That just grows and grows and grows.
So
And
here's
that's,
here's my question. If that's what they think, do they really have the money? Do
well, in some
they
cases,
really have some gold to be digging?
well, some men do. Some, I mean, I've worked with men that have are wealthy. You know, they have good jobs, or they got good businesses, companies,
Mm.
and they feel that women are just interested in what they've got to offer. And you know, it's sad. It's sad. So this is where we have to, you know, clear away these beliefs, these roadblocks, these limiting beliefs that they've either put there themselves, or they've been put there, the seeds being put there, and it's just been growing over the years. And then, of course, you know, they do attract a woman that is after their money. So because, you know, a lot of it too's got to, you know, the law of attraction. If that's what you believe, I'm a very strong believer of that. If that's what you believe, that's what women are like, all women are, you're going to attract, every single woman out there is going to be attracted to you, because
Mm.
you're vibrating that, you know.
Mm. I'm going to have two comments. One of them was a coworker. We weren't really working. We were working in the same department. Um, and he started this, and this is a while back. He started this group because we became friends, and it was like a question of the day. That was the group question of the day, and men were asking questions and women were asking questions, and so it got to the point to where men were saying that every time they go on a date, they have to pay.
Mm.
Some of us women that were, you know, we were making our own. We said, no. There's some of us out here who say, no, we're going Dutch. And there are a lot of times that I went on so-called dates that I said, no, I'm going to pay for everything because I don't want to hear anything from you and I don't want to see you ever again. This is the worst date ever. So, so, so then he went into this 90-day date to where the man and the woman are going to go Dutch. And we were spectators. And it turned out to be a really good group um, because it brought out a lot of beliefs that were false. And so that was good. Now, the other comment that I'm going to have is that so if men believe that women are gold diggers and that's all they want is money from men, and that's their belief, so that's what they attract, which puts me in a space, a headspace of, well, what do women believe when they start attracting these I'm gonna be nice.
Okay.
These men that are no good. So is it that because of women that's what they believe, or that's what because that's what they're attracting? And I hear a lot of women say that I always attract these low lives, I always attract these men that cheat, I always attract these men that dot 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 dot. So is that their belief?
Absolutely. Well, that's, if you listen to the vocabulary dialogue, I always attract men that cheat on me. I always attract men that are losers. I always attract men that are not good for me. Well, what are you saying? I attract. I am attracting. That's what's happening for me. That's my reality. So your words will create your reality. Your thoughts will create your reality. Well, you know, what's wrong with saying, you know, I always attract fun and interesting men. And you're not stating that they are all cheats, because you can look at a man as a man that cheats quite interesting,
Mm.
because it is interesting why they cheat, right? Doesn't it interest you as to why they cheat? What's the comment? It's something within themselves that they don't deserve better. Yes, absolutely. And that was my next comment, that a lot of the times they don't believe that they are worthy. They don't think they're good enough to attract a decent man, a loyal man, or a man that, is going to have the qualities that they desire.
Mm.
Absolutely.
So, wow. So, in saying all of that, so we're identifying all the roadblocks. We're identifying all the mental roadblocks. We're identifying the trauma that creates the mental roadblocks, the certain beliefs that we have that creates these mental roadblocks. What are the ways? What are the avenues? What are some of the things that you have done? Even the audience, put it on there. What have you done to overcome these mental roadblocks? Um, I know me. I had made up in my mind that when I divorced, I wasn't going to remarry again. Was I going to? I was dating, yeah, yeah, but I already had it in my mind. Make it whatever. I am not going to marry. And of course, I'm married 3 years, going strong. Um, it was it was how you know what, you're right. You're right. Because I
What was
thought,
what was your talk? What was your self-talk?
yeah, yeah, you're right. Um, I I was thinking that, I can't, because this one he did this, and then I caught him, and then he lied, and then he did this again, and he lied, and he did it again, and he lied, and he did it again. This one, he did it, he lied, he did it, he lied again and again and again and again. And this one, same thing, until finally, of course, it's Jeff. Um, he said that, he was gonna. I was like, okay, yeah, right, whatever. But he pursued and he pursued and he pursued, and he continues to prove that, I am his priority. And it took a year, well, 2 years of pursuing me, courting, before I even said yes. And then another year for me to really realize I am his priority. I do deserve this kind of life. And he keeps on telling me, you deserve this, you deserve this. Because he does certain things that I'm like, why are you doing this? Why didn't you buy this? What is this for? Just for you. And I've
Yeah.
never had that. So yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. So Wendy said lots of therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy is taboo. It is. It's taboo. Um, it's taboo in certain races, culture, and um, religious beliefs. It's very taboo. So therapy is really good. It really helps. It really does. And she said the same thing. Wendy's married too. To an awesome man, by the way, and she is awesome herself. They're both a good catch. Um, so what are some of the things that you have done to overcome?
You're asking me or Wendy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what she say? So is attracting the wrong things, people. I had to decide what would make me a better me. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Yeah, we see, I believe that you go through certain experiences for as long as you decide that you want to go through them. It's as simple as that. When you say enough is enough, yeah, like hit the microphone,
Hold
that's
on. Can you say that one more time? That just blew my mind.
right. You'll go through certain amount of experiences, whether it be good or bad, um, as long as you're the driver. As long as you keep wanting that same experience, you will keep getting that same experience. You're in control. You'll keep getting that same experience.
Whoa.
Is that too much for
I
happy?
agree, Wendy. That's some facts right there. That
Right.
is fact. Is it is it hard to swallow?
Yes, for a lot of people it is. And with my therapy, my coaching, I do get very real and I get very raw. And it's I call it the triple R factor: real, raw, and reality.
I was somebody's messaging me. I thought they wanted to come on, but no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I get real and I get raw. And I will say it how it is. I don't butter it up. I don't make it too sweet, because particularly with men, because if you want to better yourself, you need to know the truth. And if you're open to just listening and then even digesting it and then say take responsibility, well then yeah, you can do anything you want. You can decide. And it's only then, once you decide, you say, you know what, I've had enough of this. I want change. I want to change. I want to live a better life. I want to have better relationships. I want to, this is my desire. This is what let's have a look at what the end result. How do you want to be in 5 years' time, 10 years from now? Who do you want to be with? You know,
Mm,
how do you want to feel 5 years from now, 10 years from now, next week? You know, so when you decide that and you start transitioning and taking the steps, um, then things are going to change. I mean, we have that very, what is it, Einstein? We say it all the time. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different
yeah,
result.
a different result. Yeah.
Right? And it's true. How can we keep, you know, going down this road, but expecting to have these kind of sceneries along the way when you know down that road you're not going to get those sceneries? So,
Wow. Nicely put. Nicely put.
so
You're
what
gonna.
kind of things do you want to, have every day? What do you want to wake up to? Who do you want to wake up next to?
Oh, that is a good question. That is a good. That was one of my, inside of my head. Do I want to wake up this person for the rest of my life? And
Mm,
if the answer is
wow. Wow.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, go
Mm.
ahead.
No, I was just going to say, on that, based on that, a very good question you should ask yourself, okay, whenever you're, contemplating long-term relationship, marriage, or something that you see, you're contemplating whether to be with this person, whether male or female, for the rest of your life, so to speak, right? Because, for good or for worse, we all want long-term, all want, heartfelt long-term relationships. You know what you can put up with, because he's got all, or she's got all these beautiful qualities, right? We know, we love all that about him. We love that about her, how she makes us feel. But then, of course, we all have, a side that may not be so positive. Let's call it, I don't know, negative or displeasing, or things that you would like to change in that person,
The work
right?
in progress.
Work in progress, So you know what you can live with. Then the vital question you must ask yourself is, can you live with these qualities that this person has?
Hmm.
Because you can live with these, the positives, all the wonderful things, but can you live with those other things that, get under your skin? And I always say, gauge them from 1 to 10, or from 0 to 10, 0 obviously being the lowest, that you can't put up with that. and 10 being the highest. So, if it's above 5, we'll say, you know what, can I live with it? Because don't go into a relationship thinking you're going to change that person,
Right.
right? They can modify, they can adjust, but we all have our own personalities, we all have our own traits, we all have our
Hmm.
own values. And those values, if they're set in stone for some people, you can't change it. You
Right.
can't expect to change it either.
Right. Right. So it is it up really up? Well, I've heard you several times, but so I already know the answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyway because some people might want to, might have the same questions, and um, so those mental roadblocks, it is actually up to us to remove them.
Absolutely.
You're like, duh.
Yeah, unless you have some magical, device that can go in and just pluck them out.
Hmm.
I'm we have to do the work. And if you can't do the work on your own, yes, that's where you may need to seek, advice, or a mentor or a coach or a therapist of some sort, and we can't do everything on our own. I mean, I can't do everything on my own. I know myself as a coach and therapist, I still have help. I still, go to my resources and, have sessions. I won't lie to you. I'm not perfect as much as people think, oh, you got the perfect life, but we all have our ups and downs. We all have we if I was to tell you I didn't, I'd be lying. I'd be
Yeah.
lying.
Yeah.
So sometimes I acknowledge that, yeah, I've got this block. All right, I may work through it on my own and I can let it go, remove it. Sometimes I can't. I struggle. I do struggle and I need that assistance. And that's why
Hmm. Hmm.
we have people out there that help us to do it. And you don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to be embarrassed either to be seeking help.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it. We're all here, on this planet to help each other. We're
Yes.
all connected. We're all one. And sometimes even you know, my clients, or, I've been in teaching a lot of my years as well as a teacher. Your students become your teachers as well, even through, sessions. Something may be unveiled and you think, oh wow, and you've learned something out of it. So we're
Hmm.
all teaching one another constantly,
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah. And that's why I said, oh, what a concept, that you're my client and I'm your client, and we're, wow, what a concept kind of thing, because your expertise is in an area where I lack, and my expertise is in an area where you need a little bit more, need help. So in saying that, what how do you attribute all of this into entrepreneurship? How do you attribute all of this into trying to make it into this vast, it seemed like the rush of the the 79ers, during the gold rush, everybody is rushing to California to get that gold, and now it's um that that you can remove those mental roadblocks in order to show up for those that actually do need you, for those that find you, for those little gems that find you on the web and say, oh, Stefania, I like to recommend a whole bunch of men to you.
And usually women do, actually. Clients are
you, you
women.
know so how do you put that in perspective of entrepreneurship?
Okay. Well, it's really quite easy, and I think I struggled with that for a while, I'll be honest, but I just got really authentic with myself. I just really, really, tapped into, questioned my integrity.
Mm.
Why am I doing this? What's my intention behind it? And when I speak, I believe that that is transparent, because I'm speaking from my heart.
Mhm.
I had a beautiful coach who helped me through that. And, you know, she's amazing. Enolia, I'm not sure if I don't think you've actually met her, but I've done a lot of um, conversations, and we have a relationship talk episode that we do every now and again, and you can check those out on YouTube. And Enolia has been amazing for me, where she'd all just say, Stefania, just check in with your heart. Just check in with your heart. I was like, it's that easy. Check in with your heart.
Right. So it's so easy. Sometimes the answers are just right there.
Right, right. So that's what I would do, and she would pick me up on it. Or I'd be asking her questions, and I'd be second guessing myself, and she wouldn't give me any answers. I was like, I want answers. And she'd say, no, check in with your heart. I was like, that's what I wanted to hear. So, but it was exactly what I needed to hear, because I was then, I guess, checking with your heart. That's so good. It is. And I use that with my clients as well, because your heart, is your higher self. It's what's you're connected to source through that, whether it's your heart, your spirit, whatever you want to call it, your creator, God, Father, whatever. People call it all different things, but it's all one thing, and we're all connected to that. So that's what's helped me, and I know what I do. Wendy, that's a light bulb. Thank you. But it
A
was a
light
light
bulb moment. Yeah.
bulb, and it was for me as well. And bless Enolia, because with her tough love, it got me through it. And she's a women's empowerment coach. She's amazing. And so going back to your question, Zaneta, yes, I think, tapping into my heart and being very authentic and really having integrity with everything that I do will transpire and will show. Now, I do get people that come across and, will try and bash me down or say negative things, or, because the fact that I am a female and I am coaching men, I say, I'm not here to emasculate men. I'm here to empower them. I'm not here to tell men how they should be feeling. I'm not here to tell them what they should be doing. I'm simply here to empower them and to actually enlighten them and make them aware of female energy, understanding female energy. Because I am a female and I know what it feels like. And I've worked with a lot of females prior to working with men. And, I've got a lot of female friends, girlfriends, and, what do? We chit chat, we hear, we talk. And I may not be all those, archetypes, those female archetypes, no, but I certainly know of them, study them, and, it all evolves around the same thing. We're females. Our hormones, we're all over the shop. And I admit it. But if a man can learn to understand it, it doesn't make him, uh, a weaker man. It actually makes him a more emotional, intelligent man.
Yeah.
To be tapping into that with a female. So rather than fighting it and arguing or feeling confused or lost or bamboozled and then going back into his cave, uh, I just saw Wendy's comment. I help men work with that and step into that male energy that they have. And, a very simple, um, a very simple thing that I make men aware of, particularly, when it comes to females and they're 28 28-day cycle, their menstrual cycle. And for some women, it's more than 28 days, right? We know that, or maybe a little bit less. But, initially, the first 2 weeks of our cycle, right, that's when we, believe it or not, on a hormonal level, we are attracted to or aspire to men that are more beta.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the second 2 weeks, when we're actually ovulating, we aspire to men that are more alpha. Why? Because we're ovulating, we're getting, it's our cycle, and our hormones are rising, and subconsciously too, or on a hormone level, a female is getting ready, like, to mate in some cases. So, but
Mm-hmm.
whether she is or not, but her moods, her hormones are changing. So we want a stronger man. We want a man that's going to, possibly stand his ground, say how he feels, that he's not going to run into his cave and be too beta. So, gentlemen, you need to learn to step into both qualities, both energies of beta and alpha with a female, and understand that.
Nice. I actually, Jeff does that. He knows when to be beta and he knows when to be alpha. And that's just the way you explained it. And I was like, wow. And even though I have already, I don't have none of that. I don't have, but my body still remembers. So my body still goes through that, okay, I want the beta. Okay. So he knows it. He's like, oh, you're he's like, and then he will do certain things
Right.
for me. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
some men do it very naturally. They're unconsciously doing it. They're just, it's that chemical in them. They've got it. They understand it, whether it's intuitively or just energy itself. Some men don't. They
Mm,
don't. They may not have grown up with a lot of females around them. It could be a number of reasons. They may have just had a lot of male energy around them all the time. So they're confused. Of course, they're going to think, what does this friggin' woman want? When I'm nice, she just like runs me over. When I'm bad, she just wants me. Like, yeah, he's like bamboozled. He's totally thrown off, to the point that then he's like, throws his arms in the air and says, well, to hell with this. Women, I don't know what they want. And then they fight it, and rather than understanding it and knowing how to work with it. And it doesn't mean the men have to change who they are. No, it's just understanding. Understanding is what is going to get you results.
so how did you choose that field with men?
Again, the $1 million question.
Yes.
Wow. Let me tell you. Well, it goes back way back. Okay. And it was always happening, but I was always resisting. Okay. So let me take you back with my first profession. And I used to work as a hairdresser, a hairstylist. I was a hairstylist for many years, for both men and women. So, of course, in a hair salon, ladies, you know what happens, don't you? We all go to the hair salon and talk, share, gossip, or whatever. And, as a hairstylist, we have the license to touch, like a doctor. We're touching your hair, we're touching your head, we're transforming your hairstyle. So there's a lot of trust there. There's a lot of trust.
Okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm just, yes, that touching that all of a sudden I got an image of, oh my Lord, thank God I don't have anybody touching my head anymore. Anyway, go ahead.
Right. So, but it's to the point that you relax and you're trusting that person, and you will open up. You will start talking. You'll feel confident. You'll feel comfortable. You trust and know that person. So what would happen, particularly women, would come and share all their relationship issues at this hair salon. We were like great sounding boards. We would listen. And I remember when I first started my apprenticeship, my boss would say to me, you are not to give advice, Stefania. You are just to listen. You listen, you do hair, you listen to them, and you just say, oh, that's interesting.
I'm sorry.
Right. And so that's where it started. The men, on the other hand, would come in and share bits and pieces, but nothing to that extreme. From that, I then moved on to be a personal trainer at a gym. And again, this all came up where women would come to me and, want to lose weight, get into shape, get fit. And at the end of our sessions, particularly in the stretching, there'd be that that touching, stretching clients out, that comfortable feeling, and they would start talking and talk about their relationships. Men don't understand. Men just don't get us women. If only he knew how I felt. If only I could just make him understand. And it was like on and on and on. And it was all about relationships. And then I would have the men, because I was coaching and training men. And the men would say, they wouldn't be like women and open up and, tell me their deepest hurts. They would just say, Stefania, you're a woman. What do you think? What do you think I should do? What do you think she's thinking? Now, why would she do that? So I would.
Total opposites, huh?
Right. So I was getting all the questions, but the men were unable to, identify or they were trying to tap into the female psyche, female energy. And I'm going, oh my God, this is where I need to be. This is what I need to do. Rather than be coaching and training women, I need to be coaching men. Men need to know this. Men need to know more about female energy so they can actually have better thriving relationships with women, get along with them, really get all the sex they want. Because ultimately, they were sex starved, a lot of them. They were just.
I'm sorry.
Yes, yes, I won't lie to you. Frustrated men, and then what would happen, they would then go off and possibly, have affairs or, go and visit the local escort
Yeah,
agency or
the
whatever,
local red light district, yes.
or, get addicted to porn, a lot of things like that, and ultimately, I wanted to save these relationships, or I wanted to help men have better relationships, thriving, understanding, and really get what they desire. Yep. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
That's how it all
That's
started. So that's how I jumped the fence. I went from training and coaching women to coaching men. Yes.
so
That's how.
does that play a part of in your um uh, or if you do have a mental roadblock, does that play a part because you are a woman and you don't fit the norm, the mold where women, empowering women, women, there's a whole lot of programs about women empowerment and a lot of movement for women, women for women. Does that play a part of a mental roadblock for you?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, not at all. I mean, I just love what I do, and I don't. In fact, I actually get a lot of support from women. Like I really think women are really supporting me in what I'm doing. I think there's a mental block or roadblock for men when they come across, a title or something, of this nature for them. Again, because I am female, and depending on what they've been brought up with or what they think about women or their relationships with women, they may, sort of hold back and until they get to know me. And that's why I do offer, insight calls, insight conversations, solution calls to help them just at least roadmap and identify them, help them identify where their blockages are and whether we can work together or not. I mean, I can't work with everybody. Not everybody also
It's yeah.
fits what I do. Some people need, and I will direct them to other avenues as to seek help. Yeah. So for me, I've not got a roadblock at all. If anything, you know, it's actually helped me. Even it's, have you ever heard of the expression, your business is your therapy?
Mm,
Well, it is, because whatever you're working at is also healing within you. And, another reason why I did venture out in doing what I'm doing is because of my own, I guess, relationships and how I felt men weren't able to understand female energy. And I wanted to break it down for them. But when you're in a relationship, it can't happen because you're involved with that person and you can't be their lover and their therapist at the same time.
right. Right.
Well,
It's
you can, but it's very difficult. And then you have to change roles and you become the therapist or the mother type figure, or, the caretaker. And that's not what you want in a relationship.
yeah,
You want to be both empowered, and sure, you can be helping one another along the journey, but not to the point where it's overload of, constant coaching or mentoring with your other half. Yeah.
yeah. Well, we have been on for over an hour.
Have we? Oh my. Yes, it's 11:11 here. Angel numbers.
Yes, this is wonderful. Tell us again where they can find you,
Okay.
and what what services you offer.
Okay, so you can find me anywhere. No, you can find me certainly on Facebook. Uh, you can find me on my personal page, my personal profile page, Stefania Pulio, the Gentleman's Square. I do have a men's group, also, gentlemen, that you can join. It is a safe space where only men are allowed, where they share and have support with one another. It's called Rock Solid Relationships for Men. So it's a group, it's a free group. So all men are able to join. I will it's only new, it's only about 3 weeks old, and I've already got over 100 members, which is wonderful, that have joined. So I've got the Gentleman Square, my website, YouTube. I have over 100 videos that you can go in and have a whiz through. Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And of course, if you are interested in an insight call to have a little chat, you need someone as a sounding board, I am here. You can get on any one of those platforms and DM me direct, and I'd be really happy to help you.
Awesome, awesome. So, with me, I will be doing this every Friday. So, for those of you that would want to come on here and be a guest, come on and have a conversation. We will be having just different topics. Today we talked about mental roadblocks, and Stefania, I believe, was a great guest host that could speak on it because she's a hypnotherapist, not the kind that you think. So for those that would like to know more about that, get with Stefania. And I'm going to tell you right now, I did one session and it was phenomenal. It helped me tremendously overcome a lot of mental roadblocks that I didn't even know that they were there. Um, and so I'm going to be using this platform just for, everyday conversation. That's why it's called fun.
Yes, it
And
was.
Stefania loved that.
I did. I think it was. I love it. I love the acronyms. Fun,
Yeah.
fresh.
Yes. So Fun
Friday.
Fresh Fridays. It's gonna be fun. It's because I'm gonna make little anecdotes, comments to make it a little bit light. And also it's gonna be fresh. We're gonna be talking about topics like mental illness, certain things that are plaguing us, relationships, or just, whatever topics you want to talk about. um, we'll have this platform and be able to showcase you as a guest host, and hopefully Stefania will agree to be like a regular guest host.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and and join in. I know this is new. This is our first one, and thank you, Stefania, for being the first guest. And I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. Me, I don't really care about a lot of theatrics and all, because look, this is how we're gonna come. This is how we are in person, and this is how we're gonna be. Just being natural, like what you said, authentic. We're gonna be talking authentically and tackle topics that are in the forefront, and instead of what do we do for how to get more likes, how to get more clients, how to get more of this, how to get more of that. Let's take care of this,
Yeah.
then it
Connect
should.
with the heart.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Check with your heart, check with your heart. So be looking for more. um I have a wonderful VA. I don't call her my VA. I think she's my project manager. She's my taskmaster.
Yeah.
um, so you can be seeing more interaction with Redefine Me, and just different things that we're going to be talking about, and be able to put it on live, and whatever platform you wish. If you want it on YouTube, we'll put it on YouTube. If you want it on LinkedIn, we'll put it on LinkedIn. And just different things that I wanted to also give you is that Redefine Me is also on Instagram, and also Facebook and YouTube. It used to be Transforming Daily Lives. I have switched everything to Redefine Me, because it's okay to rebrand, and okay to rebrand, and okay to rebrand, and rebrand again, and rebrand again. It is okay, because you change, right? We all change, we all grow, we all turn into butterflies, we all do this transformational. So yeah, so it's okay. Until next time, Stefania, thank you once
Thank you.
again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. And I just quickly wanted to mention I
Sure.
do have
Yes.
a free ebook that you may want to.
Yes.
I'll give you the link afterwards, and I guess you can post it afterwards. It's 5
Okay.
ways to make juicier connections, and you can get it on my um, Facebook page as well. I don't have
You
the.
can go ahead. Yeah,
Can I?
you can post it. You can post it even after we go off a line.
Okay.
Yeah, even after we go off the live, you can post it. And yes, feel free to do that so that they can go there and get your free ebook. Thank you for oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. 5 ways to make juicier connections with a woman.
Woo! Gifted to a man you know.
Exactly.
Look,
Exactly.
gifted to a man who needs it. Look
Yeah.
here, honey. Look at what I got you. This is what you need to do. Yeah. Again, thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And I really appreciate you, Zaneta. It was wonderful. You know what? We've been talking for about an hour and 15, 20 minutes. Is that right, Nellie?
Yes.
It just didn't feel like it. It was just wonderful. It was pleasurable. It was just fun and fresh and It was Friday.
Yes, and it's Friday. This is what
Right.
I like to do. This is my element. I love this. There's certain things that I just like to bring out of people, to ask those questions and just have fun, and let it be fresh and let it be informative on Fridays.
That's right. Love it.
Yeah,
Love it. It was great. And thank you for everyone that's listening or on the replay. Hashtag us, ask us any questions. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you and comments as well. We want to hear your comments, whether you agree, whether you disagree. We want to hear it all, right, Zanetta?
right. Yes, yes. And do know that even if you comment afterwards, Stefania will still be able to answer, or I will be able to answer. And, whatever topics that you guys want to talk about, please comment and we'll go ahead and do that. And hope you enjoyed this first impromptu show. Um, Next topic will be posted. And so I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays that will be up and coming. So be on the lookout on that. So Mondays will be Mentor Mondays because I am a mentor. So you look for certain little nuggets there. Tuesday, let's talk about it Tuesday. Let's talk about this. What are we talking about here? What is happening? So that's what's going on. There's a lot of things going on for Redefine Me. There's a lot of things going on with me, Zanetta, that if you like to join in, come on, feel free to do so. I would love to share the platform. I would love to share the stage with you. Okay. Thank you, Stephania, again. And
Thank you.
it's thank you so much. And it's always a pleasure. Always, always, always a pleasure.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Bye for now.
Are you still there?
Yes, I am. Is it off? Have you turned it off?